And we are live at Podcast Movement with Mr. FinCon himself, Philip Taylor, a.k.a. PT.
Hey, Joe.
We never get to do this anymore.
Oh, man. Actual fist bump, physical fist bump.
It is fantastic.
Feels
and by
good.
the way, for anybody that does podcasting face-to-face beats a Skype video any day. And if you're not using Skype video when you podcast, you're missing out there too. The guys at Bigger Pockets told me that a few years ago, and I said, whatever, that's fine. And then I started doing it. Got to have video, but nothing beats face-to-face.
It's great, Joe. It's good to be here with you, man.
Well, let's talk about, we only got a few weeks to go. I mean, it's right around the corner. You guys got to be working crazy.
I know. This is the closest we've ever been at someone else's event while we're getting ready to go to ours. So
I saw you combine this with a retreat, so it looked like everybody had the laptops open, everybody's working diligently. I saw a Instagram post, which was all the stuff people are doing. Even Justin was, ordering pizza for everybody or something?
Yeah, it was a good, productive time. And we've got the big blocks in place. It's just the little fine touches we're working on now.
What is last minute hot coming at FinCon?
Yep, so new things we have this year for FinCon are, first off, some new tracks, right? You think of conferences, you think, what am I going to learn? What are the sessions like? So there's some new tracks this year for you to discover. Traditionally, we've had a video and podcasting track together, so those mediums had to sort of share time. This year, we have a straight video track and podcasting track fully dedicated to those
Fantastic.
to those platforms. We've also got the introduction of a journalism track, specifically for journalists who may be there or bloggers who just want to write in a more use those sort of journalistic practices a little more healthy. So a conversation around personal finance journalism.
You, by the way, I mean, just to make this a little personal, I know at your site, PT Money, you made that switch partway through too, didn't you? Where your blog became more journalistic.
Yeah, I would say so. Less purely based on my story, and bringing in more outside sources. And we try to keep it still story-based and riffing off sort of the author's own profile. But again, we have to lean on sources because we cover a lot of detail.
Sure.
And so that's kind of at the heart of some of these topics is sourcing and how to create better content.
That's fantastic. Well, and before we go on to the next one, I just think that we've got so much we can learn from journalists. Journalists have so much they can learn from the blogging community.
Yep.
Like that synergy, meeting halfway is great.
Yep. And that big media world and small media, I guess you would say, or new media, those worlds continue to kind of clash and come together.
At FinCon.
So, and they do. They really do. And so you see people kind of bridging the gap there, and that's kind of what this track's all about, is helping to kind of meet people in the middle. We've also got the brand track, so specifically speaking to brand marketers. So brands like Fidelity and Ally and Capital One and AARP who have content machines of their own, how are they producing that content? How are they putting it together? So they now have a dedicated track at the show to talk to each other sort of about how they're producing content from a big brand level.
Boy, that's fabulous.
Yeah.
That's a whole new world.
So, more opportunity for them to get involved. And if you're a small creator, maybe there's some nuggets in there that you could learn from a bigger production.
Sure, how to plug into them even.
Yep. Okay, my second big, new, fresh idea is the fact that FinCon Central, our main expo hall, is going to be 3 days instead of 2. So traditionally we've done like a Thursday, Friday expo hall. This year it will start on Wednesday at noon. So as soon as you check in for the conference, that'll be open and you can jump in there and get started with that experience.
Which is great because last year, frankly, I thought I couldn't get around to all of them.
No.
I was having so many great conversations with so many different brands, and I probably saw it all just walking, but I saw about a third of the people I really wanted to talk to.
Yep. And then not a secret, but a special addition to this FinCon Central extension idea is that there will actually be a 4th day of FinCon Central, but it won't be in the main area. It will be in our Solution Center, and it will be down by the breakout sessions. So companies that are providing solutions to influencers and brands, so think like Aweber, think email marketing companies, hosting companies, any kind of blog solution or podcasting solution.
Specific to the stuff you're creating.
Yeah. They will be down in the breakout center area on Saturday. So traditionally we shut the whole expo hall thing down on Friday night. Well, some of those brands will stick around and continue having their stuff there on
like
Saturday.
More focused things.
Yes.
Yeah. That's all great, but more pancakes with my face on them?
We can do it, Joe. We can do it. Or cupcakes, maybe. We'll see. All right. Next new thing is the big obvious one is the fact that we're just going to be in D.C. So we got a new location right in the heart of the Adams-Morgan district in D.C., which is a super nice area, nice and cool restaurants and things to do, and really walkable to a lot of the cool free museums and things to do in the D.C. area. So nice new location.
I've seen, by the way, on the Facebook page, if you're not in the Facebook group, you really want to get there. I've seen discussions about the best way to get from the airports downtown. You guys also have that on the website.
Yep.
But there's lots of easy and frugal ways to get downtown.
Yep, and lots of community meetups happening early in the morning. People doing runs down to like the Washington Memorial, for instance. So that's evident that's like you can actually get down to those places really easily.
Those seem to be, and by the way, if you check that in the last couple days, those are being added still daily. People, I notice, are adding things as we speak.
Yeah, we still got a week left, I think, to get some of those ideas in, or maybe 2 or 3 days to get some of those ideas in. But yeah, look for the community ideas. That'd be a good way to kind of be with the community, but also explore the city. Another new, fresh thing for FinCon this year is the Pro Pass will actually include a lunch, a networking lunch with the brands. So on Thursday at lunch, if you've got a Pro Pass, or if you're a brand that picked up a Pro networking table, you have the opportunity to do lunch on us in the hotel there, a nice plated lunch or buffet lunch, and experience some extra networking time with each other.
More one-on-one time with a brand you want to go deeper with.
Right, yeah. And then I've got a few more ideas here. Let's see. I think we covered the Solution Center being downstairs. Okay, a couple of meetup opportunities, right? So when you come to the conference, you may be nervous about, maybe not knowing as many people as you need to know, or how do I connect with the right people? We've got 2,500 people at the event this year. So you don't want to come just thinking, I'll meet people. Hashtag meet people. It's like, no, you need to really dial into who you need to meet. Who you need to meet matters more than the fact that there's just a lot of people there. So we've got 2 opportunities to do that, to dial you into maybe some people you want to meet. First is what's called our platform connection, platform meetups. We're doing that right after check-in. So as soon as you check in, you can get your badge, and you can go to a separate room where you can go to a table or area that's focused on the platform that you serve. So for instance, if you are a YouTuber, there's going to be a table dedicated to YouTubers. So you can meet other YouTubers. If you're a podcaster, if you're a blogger, if you're an influencer on social media, if you're an advisor, if you're, there's a couple others in there, but look in the app and see some of the other platform connection opportunities. That way when you get to the conference, it's like, okay, immediately I'm dialing into the people who are doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, no excuse for not meeting like-minded people.
Yep. One other meetup opportunity will come at the very end of the conference, and this is our local meetups. So lunch on Saturday is when we're asking folks to get together with the people in their regional or local area. So if you're not already associated with a FinCon local, for instance, I know you do the FinCon local in Detroit, I do the one in Dallas, and so you'll get an opportunity to meet some people in your local area. That way when you're going home from the conference, you'll have people to connect with on a more regular basis. Yeah,
I'm excited, by the way, about the meetup right after FinCon, so everybody can, in Detroit anyway, we're going to do a, what did we learn? Like, what were your takeaways? And everybody shares their best, so I not only get my experience, but I get your experience and somebody else's experience.
Yeah. So those are some of the new things we got. It should be a great experience, a good time. We haven't announced this yet, so this will be sort of a highlight for the podcast is the fact that Robinhood, we secured them as a sponsor, and they're going to be our opening party sponsor. And they're going to take us off-site probably to a nice place to do a big, cool opening party for us all to hang out together. So that'll be something new, a new partner and a new big experience there in D.C.
That's so great. That's fantastic. Boy, and they fit the FinCon attitude as well.
I think it'll be a good partnership. I'm excited for having them on board. So
yeah, that's awesome. I want to just end. We're here in Orlando in August, which doesn't sound optimal. However, this conference we're at here, Podcast Movement, this thing continues to grow like FinCon does.
Yeah, it's in their 6th year. I'm always excited to see what's new with this show. Very rich, deep community here. Lots of good people. We come out to meet the podcasters, obviously in the personal finance and investing space, who come to the show as well. Just really cool to see what's happening with this medium. I'm a fan of it. I think it's perfect for financial advice and for financial information, to get in the ear of your listener, the folks who you're trying to connect with, in an intimate way and talk to them about money and be their guide is a pretty special medium. So we come to the show every year, support it, and we're thankful to be back this year. And it's really cool to see what's happening with podcasts. And we've got Google here, we've got Spotify here.
Spotify right across from us.
I mean, it's really gone mainstream.
Yeah. I'm interested seeing, this is just nerding out about this topic. Jared and Dan, the guys that put this on, love those guys. I also love seeing the FinCon influences on this. This room that we're in really feels like FinCon Central to me. Really does.
Well, it may not be that widely known, but yes, Dan and I office together, or we used to office together, so we share a lot of ideas. And I steal some ideas from him too. So.
But it works. It's so great because you got all this interchange of and flow of people and ideas.
Yeah.
This is the thing that I learned that I've applied here, that I learned at FinCon, that I'd like to just probably end this with on my part is don't just stick with those people that are in your area. I learned so much here at Podcast Movement from storyteller podcasters, comedian podcasters, people who do sports podcasts, all these different niches that aren't finance. I learned so many things, and I found that when I see people that don't get anything out of it, it's generally because they stay in their own lane. This is a great opportunity to apply lessons that other areas might have done well to your thing. And I think even at FinCon, even though it's great that you have the tables that are specifically for your people, don't be afraid to learn stuff from places or go to sessions that are outside of your core competency to maybe widen the scope.
Good advice, Joe. I love it. I agree.
Thanks. But actually, the very last thing, we got a bunch of us on. I actually just turned. I just realized on a audio podcast, you can't see what I'm doing, but I just turned. We've got a lot of us, a lot of FinCon podcasters behind me on this. What do you call that thing?
Yeah, it's our banner behind
us. On the banner,
here. Yeah, the FinCon Podcast Network, which is a loosely organized group of folks through a Facebook group and social media that really connect through our event and through our online channels and just basically collaborate with each other in whatever way they see fit. We don't have an ad network component to it yet, but it's a great community of people who are producing great content and who aren't afraid to talk about that money subject that's still taboo out there. And so for whatever reason, they're more naturally drawn toward each other and can share ideas and help each other out. So yeah, some shows that we've had do their show already here at the conference are shows like the Maple Money Show Tom Drake does for some of the Canadian audience. Let's see, who else was on? The Paychecks and Balances show is going to be featured here. Popcorn Finance has already done his show, Chris. So yeah, good representation from our network here, and it's really cool to be in an event where we can meet our community and let them do their thing.
Well, and here's the thing, and back to FinCon meets podcasts. This list of podcasts here, the number of downloads that are going to financial podcasting now versus when I started in this space 8 years ago. You and I even talked, hey, let's do a live podcast at FinCon. How crazy will that be? Way back in Denver, I think?
Yeah.
Like, just to see the growth and the number of downloads in the podcast community. Like, these are not just some big names for finance.
Right.
There's just some big podcast names that are FinCon names, which is awesome.
Absolutely. And we're only going to continue to grow. So it's really exciting to be a part of it and be here with you, Joe.
Great talking to you, man.
All right, brother.